Even before taking off for the United States, Colombian President Gustavo Petro made clear that the goal of his trip was to start a new chapter in his country's relationship with the US.
Peace in Colombia has to do with a change of policy in the United States. A US-Colombia alliance on these matters can help solve issues that affect both countries. What we will propose is a new agenda.
The two countries have long had a special relationship, but one mostly limited to security and counter-narcotics. But now Petro wants to expand it to include issues like climate change, regional economic inequality, and changing the war on drugs. He believes the time is right. With China and even Russia asserting greater influence in Latin America, Petro knows Washington needs to keep Colombia as a strong partner and ally. Former Colombian Foreign Minister Rodrigo Pardo says much has changed in the region.
The US has lost influence, including here in Latin America, even more now that the left has won in almost every country. So President Biden must be worried about this. That explains why his administration has been so open to Petro's government, which might not be his favorite, but for pragmatic reasons he has maintained a high level of communication.
Some in Washington fear the election of a true leftist president and former guerrilla member to lead the US main partner in the region, and one openly critical of the US-led war on drugs. Yet, in just 8 months in office, Petro's government has already hosted Secretary of State Antony Blinken and an array of high-level officials before this early invitation to Washington. The US has all but given up on pursuing a restart of aerial fumigation of coca fields and has discreetly criticized some of Petro's policies, such as negotiations with Colombian mafia groups. But they agree on other things, notably the need to pursue a return of democracy in oil-rich Venezuela. Petro has normalized relations with President Nicolás Maduro and has since become the de facto mediator between Maduro and the Biden administration.
The disagreement is mainly between the Venezuelan government and the US at this point, and this has created this triangle between the US, Venezuela and Colombia. The expectation is not necessarily that Colombia will lead these talks, but that it can unblock them.
Many observers are also saying that it will be interesting to see just how well the two presidents will hit it off on a personal level for all of this to progress. And while it's unclear how much the agenda between the two countries will truly change, what is clear is that everybody involved wants the relationship to remain strong. Alessandro Rampietti, Jazeera, Bogota.
At least 2 people have been killed in storms.